live, and I'm on the wrong thing. Hold on.
What the heck?
There we go. Sometimes the restream, you gotta set screens. I don't know. Not restream, but the stream deck. So, good evening, Facebook. We're back.
Yes, we are. It's been a busy week.
Busy week, yeah. We always choose the right weeks to take off. So,
yeah, our timing is very good in that respect.
Yes. Well, we rule the school. That's just how it goes. So, I hope everybody had a nice week off. We enjoyed it ourselves, certainly. But we're glad to be back. Chat room's open, so feel free to hop in. Tony's there. So
First, look at me, I'm first.
Yeah, this isn't Ain't It Cool news from the 1990s there, Tony. There's no awards for first. Which is a joke that not anybody will get, but I get because I used to read Ain't It Cool. So
yeah, that's past me, man.
Oh, dude, it was a beautiful thing. Hey, Walt, how are you? Okay, so we got a lot of stuff going on. You've got Audacity open?
Audacity is open.
All right, because we're already starting a little late. So I've got my thing open. Anything else we need to cover? I don't think so. I like what we got.
I think we're good to go.
All right, so let's get this road on the show. So, all righty, here we go. You ready?
Ready to go.
All right, let me click this record button. And 3, 2, 1. Oh, hold on. Don't do it. I forgot to arm my channels. Check. I want to see the level on that. Just checking the level on that. All right, so both my channels are running, and it's pretty good. I might pull my volume down just a bit. All right.
Cool.
All right, are we ready?
Yeah.
All right, so 3, 2, 1. Click. Greetings, salutations, and welcome to the Planestalkers Podcast, the show by casuals for casuals. I'm your host, Will Benson, joined as always by my gosh, it's hot enough to melt your face off co-host, Aramis Perez. Aramis Perez, how are you, sir?
Aside from having my face melting, is it rotation yet?
Not yet. No, it's getting there, though. So let's get right into it. Yeah, so it's good to be back. Let's say that.
Yes.
So we did take a week off, but before we begin, we'd like to remind you guys that this episode and every episode of the Planestalkers Podcast is sponsored by Kerwin's Game Store. Kerwin's Game Store is New York State's premier source for collectible card games, tabletop games, miniatures, comic books, retro video games, and toys. With their clean, open gaming areas available to everyone at no charge, someday, maybe, Lord willing, when we can finally get out of this COVID nightmare. Kerwin's does provide a fun and inviting atmosphere for new and experienced gamers alike, with locations in both Catskill, New York, and now on the second floor of the Poughkeepsie Galleria in Poughkeepsie, New York. Kerwin's Game Store is the best place in gaming. Now, again, we've talked about it before, but they do have a great website. The new website's up. You can find it online at kgsonline.com. That's K as in kite, G as in go, S as in Sam, online.com. Don't forget, you get 5% off any online order when you use the Planestalkers 2020 promo code. That's Planestalkers 2020 to get 5% off. We also want to take a second to recognize our Planeswalker level patrons. This is great. The list is getting longer. Matt, Johnny, Bells, Anthony, Steve, Ian, Walter, George, Josh, and Zach are very integral, and we're very glad to have you. But we also want to recognize our newest level patron, Jonathan. Welcome to the Planeswalker level. We do appreciate you guys. You know that. These are the people that really do help the show out in so many ways. If you want to get into the drawings we have, when we do Zendikar Rising, our patrons tend to get a little bit of bonus stuff. We're going to rework some of the things you get as a patron because, we keep being unable with Commander Craft. It's hard to keep up with another, set of, decks and shows and stuff. But we're gonna figure that out. Him and I are going to go to the drawing board, but we do appreciate your help. You can find out more about the Planestalker patron program at patreon.com/planes. You can find out more at patreon.com/planestalkers. God, that's a lot of P's.
You take a week off and you forget how to talk. It's funny how that works.
Really, really weird. So we are in Uptap, and of course, I have to untap. So this week, my untap is a King Su Double India Pale Ale. So This'll be good. It's basically got a dinosaur on the can. So yeah,
Which means you're going to be extinct by the end of the show.
absolutely. But I'm stinking every day on the show.
I walked into that one, didn't I?
You really did. You did. So we had a week off, sir. How the hell are you? How have you been? What's new? What's the haps? What's the peeps? What's going on?
Well, we're going to talk about it later in the show, but Jumpstart's great. So I've been playing a lot of Jumpstart, playing a little bit of Historic Best of One. Got my wife to play over the weekend a little bit, so she's learning.
I got my wife back in.
Yeah. No Atraxa this time, right?
No Atraxa. No Atraxa.
Good. You're learning. You're learning.
No.
But no, it was a good week off. Happy to be back so we can talk about all the things that have happened because wow, some things have happened.
You know what? It never fails. This happened to us last year when we took off for my wedding. It was the same idea. Like I think a bunch of stuff. I think last year the roadmap came out where they're like, something okay, Throne of Eldraine, and then all this and Zendikar, and I'm like, fuck. So
and it all worked out great. Nothing ever went wrong at all with any of those sets.
No, nothing happened. Throne, nothing. No.
Nope, everything's fine. Everything's fine. It's all great.
Yeah, and I had a great week. I needed it. We went on vacation. My wife and I went to this campground that we went to 2 years ago with the kids, but this time we went without the kids. And I'll tell you, I was not prepared for this. I guess not taking your kids on a vacation is a thing. Like, that actually is hard for some people. Like, my wife was struggling with the idea that we weren't taking the kids. And I was insistent. I'm like, it's our first anniversary. No, we're not taking the kids. It's us. This is it. We're doing this. So it right up literally until the day before we left, we were talking about it. And then we got up there and we got to camp and we're sitting down and we're on the porch and we're relaxing. And she looks over at me and she goes, okay, you were right. She's like, yeah, we couldn't have done this with the kids. She was like, I'd be following them around and we'd be getting, I'm like, I know. So we did that. We actually got Magic in. She told me to bring some cards. And what I was smart to do was I bought all the Challenger decks when they came out because of the students, which, turned out to not be needed. But anyway, whoopsie. But I had him in my setup, so I had him in my in my box, and so I just grabbed my road box that I use for work, and we're sitting there, we're trying to decide what to play, and I'm like, I've got the Challenger decks, so I'm like, they're balanced, they're sort of meta. She loved playing the Golgari Adventures one, which I'm like, oh honey, if I had Sultai in that, you'd have a deck. I'm like.
I mean, Golgari Adventures by itself isn't bad. It's not a bad deck.
I don't think she won any games, but she was having more fun. It was far more interactive. Like, except for Mono Red, I played 2 games with Mono Red. I'm like, okay, I'll stop now. And I played the Simic Flash. She wasn't digging that either, but she had a lot of fun with a lot of the other decks. So we had a pretty good time with that. And we got to get some in, and so she's enjoying it again. I'm going to try to get her into Jumpstart. I'm going to try to buy a couple of packs. When I was up there, their Walmart had them, and I was like, I should have just grabbed them. I wasn't even thinking about it. It's like I just should have grabbed 4 of them. Just spend $40 or $20 and just whatever. But what are you going to do? So I'm going to I'm keeping my eye out for some. I do want to get my hands on some Jumpstart. So.
Well, when that time comes, give it some time because it's an unlimited print run, and they said that more is coming.
Right.
So don't pay more than you have to.
Oh, I don't plan on it. I'm not buying them. I'm not buying them. Honestly, I'm not going to buy those from an LGS. I've kind of decided that if I see them in a Walmart or something, that'll be where I buy them. Because again, as much as I love supporting the LGSs, and Kerwin's notwithstanding, I can't get to Kerwin's. But I know that there are a lot of stores out there that, because of the demand on it, have kind of dumped the prices and pump. I'm like, I can't get behind spending $10, $15 for a pack.
Yeah, no, they're supposed to be like $4 or $5 a pack.
Yeah. So, there is that. But I mean, otherwise, vacation was great. I highly recommend doing it. I'm looking forward to taking one again in December. And, we're going to take one again around this weekend next year. So, but what about you? Did you do anything other than just hang out, Magic, or?
Yeah, mostly just hung out. We had a fence to put up, so that's what most of my week actually was.
That sounds offensive.
Taking down an old fence and putting up a new one. So that was thank God we got it done before the really hot weather came in last week.
Oh, it was brutal on Sunday.
Yeah, so So for the weekend, we really dialed it back, and like I said, I was able to get a few games in with Pam, and she's like, my problem is that it's hard to keep track of everything. I'm like, well, you don't have to right now.
No.
Just take it easy, learn the interactions, it'll come. And she's like, I'm having fun. It's not that I'm not having fun. It's a lot. And I said, it is. It was like the basics are pretty easy. When it's time for you to get into the weeds, we'll get into the weeds. But for now, we're playing the decks from game night, so they're super easy. They're sort of balanced against each other. They're not great,
Right.
They're new decks, so the power level is.
Although the blue deck does have Agent of Treachery.
Blue deck does have Agent of Treachery, but I didn't play the blue deck against her. We played 2 games, ended up with the green deck both times, because what we did was she picked the deck that she wanted to play. I picked one at random, and then I happened to get the green deck both times.
I played the Jeskai Fires a lot because that was very balanced, and it didn't have Agent of Treachery, but it was very balanced. I found it. I did kind of fiddle with the land base a little bit through a shock land in or two because I'm like, listen, I can't do this without shock lands. It's just crazy. But I did it on hers too. So, but for the most part, it was a pretty nice vacation. We're glad to be back. We will be doing Commander Craft Wednesday, just to let you guys know, but we're in the upkeep portion, so I'll let you guys know what's coming up tonight. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the PT Finals. And everybody's dying of not surprised. We're going to talk a little bit about Jumpstart, the initial thoughts on it, both paper and in Magic Arena. And then we want to talk a little bit, there's been some movement on Zendikar, and they're coming out with a new booster. And, we'll talk a little bit about Double Masters. The cards are out there. We're not going to do any spoilers for that. So if you're, because again, it's not really impacting Standard all that much.
At all.
Yeah. So, but we're going to talk about that. We got a combat tonight, so we'll go through that. Then we're going to in main 2, we're going to talk a little bit about Arena, but we're really going to give you guys an update on where we are in our winner box. We are 2 rounds in, and mostly through the second round. So this has been great. I'm very much looking forward. I mean, by the time we get this finished, odds are very good. It's going to go right into Zendikar. So,
which is great.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. There's a part of me that wants to wait until rotation. Like, there's a part of me that wants to wait to start the winner box for Zendikar Rising. Oh, wait. No, because we're not doing Standard. We already decided that. We're going to do, like, Historic or Pauper. So, yeah, I guess it doesn't mean we wait. Yeah. So, because I'm thinking very seriously about doing a Pauper. Like, just being like, everybody, that's going to ensure that everybody's building some sort of janky, fun deck. So
yeah, they sort of have to brew.
Plus, everybody has, maybe we'll do Artisans so that they can have uncommons. Everybody's got uncommon and common wild cards coming out their ears. So
I'm sure at this point, yeah.
Well, I mean, let's see. When's our next call with everybody? It's in September, right?
Beginning of September, I believe.
Yeah, so we're not going to have a call until Zendikar Rising, so we're just going to have to go forward. Maybe I'll just send it to the patrons on the patron page in Discord and be like, what do you guys think? So, because I do like asking the guys, especially the Planeswalker level, like, what do you guys think? You're our guys. So, again, patron. Yeah, and dude, I've been enjoying doing the ride home with Will. I've gotten back on the horse with that. So, I got 4 episodes. I did 2 last week while I was on vacation. I actually set them up in Patreon to drop on Tuesday and Thursday. So, I'm going to have to record a new one because I'm literally out of the ones in the can tomorrow. But yeah, so I'm very excited about that. We might have some emails. I think Walter sent us an email or something. And then that'll be the show. So let's get right down to it. Let's get into the main funness.
Main phase.
Welcome to main phase. Alrighty then. So we have got an incredible show for you. Again, we lost a week. So the first thing we want to talk about, though, is that there was an event this past weekend.
Big event.
The big event. Players Tour, right? It's not Pro Tour anymore. It's Players Tour.
The Players Tour Finals.
Yes. So, again, all arena-based. So, standard arena. And, well, Aramis, why don't you tell us? Because I never got a chance to even watch it. So,
all right. Well, so the way that it worked out was they had 7 rounds, I believe, on Saturday and 7 rounds on Sunday. And the top 8 is not going to play for another week. They're not going to play till this weekend. The story of the tournament, and it's been the story of Standard for the last, since forever is the Reclamation decks. There were 145 players that were qualified for this tournament. During day one, if you combine Teamer Reclamation with 4-color Reclamation, those decks made up over 50% of the meta. So over 72, like 73, 74 players out of this tournament were playing a Reclamation deck. The day 2 conversion upped the total to over 60% of the 74 players who made it through the day 2 playing Reclamation. The top 8, half of that is Reclamation. The other 4 decks are decks that were basically built to beat Reclamation. So we're at the point now in the meta where if you're not playing Rec and you're not playing to beat Rec, you're probably not going to win. It's sad, it's stale, it's boring. I want rotation. Where's the rotation? When's Zendikar coming out? Is it next week? Nope, it's another 2 months from now. So we're stuck with this.
Well, a month and a half. Come on, August 1st is Saturday, for crying out loud. It's a month and a half out.
Well, I mean, because it's the set comes out in the middle of September.
Right. So again,
month and a half and change. Yeah. But still, it's my God, it's just Reclamation is everywhere, and it's obvious that this is the best deck, and that if you want to beat this deck, you have to really be specific in how you combat it, and that really stagnates the metagame. I mean, there was one rogue deck that made it to the top 8. It was a Mardu Winota deck. I'd have to find the deck list, but obviously, it's getting Winota out and then turning a bunch of non-humans sideways to get a bunch of humans out for value. Not Agent of Treachery, so I'm not sure what their kill was, but it's just the dead horse has returned from the grave, and it's got like other dead horses around it, and it's just overrunning everything. It's terrible.
I don't know.
60%.
60% of a top 8 of one event, yes.
No, 60% of the field.
Oh, during the event, yeah. It's 23% of the total meta according to Goldfish. And it is sitting at 50% of the top 8. 4 of them are playing Reclamation of some sort, either 4-color or Teamer.
And don't get me wrong, it's not that I don't like the deck. It's just this is the deck you have to pick.
I'm just gonna say this now. I don't see a problem with this, and I know that I feel like I should, but maybe it's because of where we are. Maybe it's because, baseball players are getting COVID and football may not happen. But there's a part of me that's just like, I can understand them not banning Teamer Rec. Either because, now it would be, I really beginning to think, and I've heard other shows say this, that I'm not going to be surprised if in Zendikar Rising we have Growth Spiral. That they don't want to ban a card now that's coming out in the next set, because and I get that, and if that's the reason they're not doing it, a salute. You know what? Then make a spoiler. Be like, here you go, guys. Here's your first spoiler, and it's a common. But I just, that literally would, then everybody would go, oh, that's why. Now, do I think they're putting Wilderness Rec? Is that possible? Okay, because you could say, well, ban Wilderness Rec.
I mean, both of them would fit in the theme of Zendikar.
It really would.
They both would fit.
And that's where I'm kind of wondering about, is that if they're trying to push off until rotation because they're in Zendikar Rising, and there would be a whole lot of egg on their face. And here's the thing. I think that the reason we got here and how we got here is they were too quick to the ban hammer. I think banning Fires with Agent of Treachery was a mistake. I think Fires of Invention on its own was not a horrible card. I think
a doubler.
Yeah, it's a doubler, but so is Wilderness Rec. But it's a doubler in red. All right, it's a doubler in red, and you're only playing on your turn, so it's shutting off flash.
It's a doubler in red, but you're casting blue spells.
Right, but you're still only casting them on your turn.
True, but
I feel Fires. I feel Fires was a bit of a misstep. I still think that they shouldn't have banned Fires. And I know I said before, ban Fires, I understand it, but I've been thinking more and more about it, and I'm looking at the problems we're having with Wilderness Rec. Fires would shut that deck down. like fires would, if fires without AOT would shut that deck off,
I
because
don't know about that. That'd be interesting to see.
well, we should do it. But I mean, I think that okay, so yes, you would have fires pulling out the red planeswalker, which would pull out a second creature. I get it. All right, I understand that the combo there with Loris is that was it? No, what the hell was the name of that planeswalker?
Luca.
Luca. I understand the combo with fires and Luca was a problem, but I think banning fires was a mistake because I think fires would allow a lot more decks to come in. I mean, could you imagine a Rakdos fire deck with the mono black aggro shit?
Yeah, that doesn't fit with
I know.
with the way fires works, because like you said, you can only cast 2 spells, and aggro wants to cast lots of spells.
Right.
And they also want to cast spells on your turn, which fires doesn't let you do.
Right.
I think what the problem was that if they were going to ban fires, they needed to ban reclamation too. Because here's my issue is that I'm okay with there being a top deck. I have no problem with there being a deck to beat. The problem is when that deck to beat is so pervasive, because I lived through Affinity Standard. When the deck is so pervasive that everyone is playing it in a major event.
So this has to ask the question, though. Now, this is going to beg the question, and maybe this is where we can talk about it, is that, okay, is it a result of the deck, or is it a result of arena success? Meaning, more people are playing, more people are involved, more people are going to MTG Goldfish and net decking, more people are getting, you know what I mean? Like, you're not seeing as much...
No, I don't think it's that, because if anything, if there was going to be a solution to the reclamation decks, it would have shown up, because more people are playing, more people are net decking, more people are looking at that information. So there's more minds trying to crack the code. And if they haven't been able to figure out reclamation by now, it's not going to happen by rotation.
But here's the thing: there are 1,000 ways to remove enchantments inside of Theros.
There are, but having to main deck them is not great. You know what I mean? It's about the efficiency. It's like, what are you taking out of your deck?
But this is Magic. This is what we do. I mean, it's paper,
right, but
rock,
it waters down. It waters down your. That's the thing, though. There's rock and paper, but there is no scissors.
Right.
That's the problem. We have rock and paper. There is no scissors.
Because like rock is obviously reclamation. Paper is
paper's a ramp deck. Yeah. Paper's a ramp deck. Or well, paper for this tournament. Paper are the decks that were built, like the mono green aggro, mono white aggro, maybe that Mardu deck. Paper are those decks right now, specifically built to fight against reclamation, but they might have really bad matchups against other decks they're sort of one shot twin trick ponies. And I think that's what the problem is that having this one deck be the best deck is fine. You can have a favorable matchup, but I think I read somewhere that the reclamation decks had over a 70% win percentage when it wasn't a mirror.
Right.
That's absurd.
But the same thing would happen with Bant Ramp. I think we're at this point now where...
Well, Bant Ramp was the third most played deck in the tournament.
Right. I think, though, but without Team or Rec, all right, without Rec, we're going to have nothing but ramp decks everywhere.
Yeah. But I think there are more weapons to fight the ramp decks than there are to fight the reclamation decks, because the reclamation decks have access to all of their mana every turn.
Right. Every one of your turns.
Every turn, because they untap at the end of their turn, at the end of their turn. So they can cast all their spells, untap, have tons of mana open for whatever they want to do during your turn.
Well, listen, reclamation, we were hot on that when it came out, and
we were scared to death of this card.
Yeah, and I mean, and it never came. It was the boogeyman that never happened, mostly because everybody was talking about Nexus at the time, and they wanted to just get rid of Nexus, not get rid of Wilderness Rec. I just don't know that a ban is. I don't know it's the right time for a ban now. I mean, we are a month and a half out.
Yeah, there are people that are clamoring for an emergency banning with 60 days until rotation. At this point, I think the horse is out of the carriage or barn or whatever. It's too late to do a ban. We're stuck with this for the next 2 months. I think the big problem that I have is that it is so pervasive that it's choking out the innovation that could be left to find in the meta, because usually once the core set comes out, that's when those decks that have been neglected throughout the rest of the season have sort of come up to prominence. Remember when Core 19 came out, Vampires was like, hey, for 2 months this was an awesome deck. You had your Rotting Registors and everything else.
It's my favorite deck to play. I love that deck.
So, but with this core set that came out, Ugin was good for a little bit, but he's already kind of faded off a little bit.
But this core set was
this core set was not as
busted as last one.
Not as busted, but not as focused.
Right.
Because remember, the last core set was really big on elementals, really big on vampires,
right.
really big on a couple different real strategies. This one had, hey, look at these really awesome reprints, which some of them are really good, and you know, they're going to see some play. But you know, I think it's really tough when you have the one deck that is being played by so many people that you have to specialize your deck just with that one matchup in mind, so that if you don't see that matchup during a tournament, you're automatically putting yourself at a disadvantage, like you pre-sideboarded against the wrong matchup. You know what I mean? You're costing yourself percentage points when you really shouldn't have to. Like, you could have answers in your sideboard, but you shouldn't have to put them in your main to deal with.
That's the meta now. It's going to happen no matter what, and it's a result of power creep. It's a result of what's happened with creeping the power inside the sets the way they have. There's too much to ban.
There's too many threats. There's too many good threats and not enough good answers.
If you ban Temur Rec, okay, unless you're going to go in and ban Euro, unless you're going to go in and ban things that's also in the ramp deck to shut both of them off.
Some people have said that it's not Reclamation that's the problem, that it's Euro.
Yeah.
And we'll obviously have to see what happens after the rotation. If the Euro ramp decks, if Simic ramp in some iteration, if they reprint Growth Spiral especially, if ramp in those colors continues to be as good as it is, then yeah, we have to really take a hard look at Euro, because I mean, that is a ridiculous card.
I have to think they're reprinting Growth Spiral at least, if not Wilderness Wreck.
I really hope it's not Wilderness Reclamation. I would be okay with
honestly,
Growth
I could see but again, picture where we were a year ago, okay, where Wilderness Wreck had been out for a few months. Nothing was happening with it because Nexus was about to rotate. Nobody was playing it.
We were saying too that it was missing a couple of pieces. It felt like it was just missing one little thing. I think it found its thing.
Right, but Wizards may have been like, "This is a great card. We could do some busted stuff with it."
Yeah, but remember how far ahead they work.
And that's what I mean. I could see a world where Wilderness Wreck and Growth Spiral are coming back, and okay, that'll suck. That'll be that's when to drop the ban hammer. But I understand not wanting to do it now because, I mean, they already have egg on their face from banning Fires of Invention, 3 weeks after Challengers dropped. Like, that was like, oops,
I'm okay with the ban of Fires. I'm okay with that.
I know. I look at that and go, I'm wondering if because they're banning so much in stand, and again, some of it you have to do it because of the power creep level and what's happening. I get it, but
I'm okay with power creep.
I'm okay with a little power creep. They've gone beyond power creep and gone to full blown power, like monster step. Like, this is full blown power leap. Like, Sam's going to walk out with Al and be like, "What are we doing here?" "Well, it's a power leap, Sam. We went right from quantum to power." I don't know.
Well, I mean, also, we're gonna try this later, but I mean, remember, this deck could have existed with Oko and with Field of the Dead, and with what else? All Agent of Treachery, all the stuff that Once Upon a Time. It could have existed with these cards. We're gonna actually bring the card back a little bit, guys. We're gonna try to build no ban standard lists to see what kind of absolute nonsense could have been if they hadn't banned things. I personally would I would wish that they never would have to ban cards in standard. I know, and they've said that too. They don't want to have to ban stuff in standard, and they've made a lot of mistakes. So I don't know if that's something on play design. I don't know if that's something on power creep. I don't know if that's some strange combination of all those events where they're printing cards with other formats in mind and forgetting about standard. I think that having a number one deck is fine. It's just there needs to be more variety. There needs to be, like, remember when Modern was doing really good about a couple of years ago, where you could literally bring any deck and do well and have a legit shot at winning the tournament? Standard was like that up until War of the Spark, and now it's just been dominant deck, just all one after the other. And I'm hoping that rotation.
Standard was like that even before War of the Spark. All right,
even the best decks were only pulling about 15 to 20% of the
they were pulling 15 to 20%, but again, I think part of this is the change in the player base, because we still had a mono red deck in Now I will say this: between Hours of Devastation and when Ixalan was the oldest set, okay, that's when we had a pretty good standard. Ixalan was the oldest set.
Well, Guilds of Ravnica and Ravnica Allegiance was good. It's War of the Spark when things really went crazy.
Right.
But I don't think the player base really changed. I don't think the player base really changed that much, though.
I think it did. I think Amonkhet and Hours of Devastation. Don't forget, the red deck was a freaking monster.
Yeah, after Ramunap Red. After they banned the stuff for Ramunap Red, because remember there was that time when Sultai was really good.
Right, Sultai Energy. Away.
Well, Sultai Energy was really good, but then Sultai it wasn't quite Sultai Ramp, but it was Sultai mid range.
Sultai mid range was good post ban. The period of
after Ramunap
Guilds
Red.
and Ravnica. You're right. There was a short period there of about 9 or 10 months where Standard was exciting.
That was great. Right. Every deck, like all the decks that were good for like 2 weeks, and then something else came over.
Guilds of Ravnica was exciting.
Yeah, up until War of the Spark.
No, even War of the Spark was exciting. It was not until Throne of Eldraine where things went bonkers.
Yeah,
I think we had a pretty even meta game from everything. We even War of the Spark, but because when Throne of Eldraine came in, and it came in with all of that power with the Oko and Once Upon a Time, and all of a sudden you're playing ramp, and it started to explode. You couldn't play aggro or mid range anymore. You still can't. I mean, there are aggro decks out there, but again, it's harder to play them against these ramp and control decks.
Well, the aggro decks are good against Reclamation because they can go
kill
under
you
it
before.
Yeah, but they're bad against the ramp decks.
Right.
So you're hedging your bets. The thing about the period between the death of Ramunap Red and when Throne of Eldraine, during that period, what was happening was that there, like I was saying, there was always a best deck,
right?
But it was constantly in flux. You remember, like every week we're saying, "Oh,
right." Well, I mean, Autumn Burchett one with mono blue,
tempo,
and there was
all these great decks. It was awesome, but we're not there anymore.
No, and it's because of Throne of Eldraine, followed by I'm not going to say I don't know about Theros, but Ikoria did a lot. Theros had a bit, but it was really Throne. I mean, think about it. What's our ban list look like right now? How many cards from Throne of Eldraine have been banned?
3.
And a core set, 2 of them.
2, yeah.
I mean, it's...
Actually, no, 3. 3 from the core set.
Agent of Treachery, Field of the Dead.
Veil of Summer.
Veil of Summer, you're right.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. Okay,
It's too bad. I'm ready for rotation. Either way, I'm ready for rotation. And I really, really, really hope that Growth Spiral and Wilderness Reclamation are not in Zendikar.
I know. I miss Vampires too, Josh. You're going to get Core back, though. Cores are coming back, I'm sure, with Zendikar. Yeah. So.
Well, Zendikar had Vampires.
They did. We might see Vampires back.
I'm sure we will.
Yeah. It's going to be an interesting... Rotation's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to starting the spoiler, but preview season. To see what's coming. I mean, Double Masters, get out of the way.
I think in the end, I think we can agree that Team of Reclamation is clearly the best deck in Standard, and needs to go away.
Yeah, that's the state of Standard right now. So let's pivot from that though, and let's go ahead and get into. Let's talk a little bit about. There were some announcements about. Oh well, before we do that, you know what? Let's put Jumpstart because you played that mainly in Arena, right?
Yeah, I played.
Let's put that in main 2. That should be a main 2 topic.
We can move it down a little bit.
Yeah, because I really think while we're talking about Zendikar and rotation, it's important to talk about. There has been a major announcement this past week. Rosewater came out, and he wrote himself another article. And again, I still hear him with the geek lisp. I really can't help it. I hear the voice. Today I'm going to talk about something we are premiering in Zendikar Rising. And I'm just like, oh God, I can hear it. But he's talking about the brand new booster. And this is kind of, I'm not sure how to sit on this yet. It's going to lead us to combat, which is good. But they're going to, with Zendikar Rising, they're going to bring out a new product. Mm-hmm. Now, and they're not removing a product. This is not replacing the theme boosters. This is not replacing the VIP or collector booster. This is an addition. And it's called a set booster.
Set boosters.
So, a set booster. They're trying to get us back. Basically, they're trying to get us to open boosters again, which I don't know anybody who's not opening boosters.
Well, they're making this product. Apparently, they did some research and ran some numbers, which always gets them in trouble. But I kind of, I'm like, you didn't know this already. Yeah, this is one of those things where it seemed kind of obvious to me, but they found that I guess over half?
Sure.
I forget what the exact actual numbers were, but they said it was over half of the players who buy booster packs aren't drafting with them, aren't playing sealed with them. They're just cracking packs, which I was like,
duh.
I could have told you that. You didn't need to have a research group for that. So what they're doing is they're saying, like, hey, look, you open the booster packs that you're opening now, the draft boosters, or what used to just be called booster packs.
Right.
The 15 card boosters that we all know and love from way back in the 90s were, a pile of commons, a few uncommons, and a rare. And they're built for draft.
Right.
And they said, well, now, with the way people are opening boosters, we don't feel like this has the excitement that it used to have when you opened a booster pack. Well, he talked about research.
It's like research those nerds.
Yeah. So yeah, they're talking about basically how opening a booster pack isn't as exciting as it used to be. Maybe part of the problem is that half your booster packs cost $30. But anyway,
well,
so
now, wait a minute. That's the collector booster. That is not the same thing. You cannot assign that to a
double masters.
The double masters are not. Are they $30 for a regular booster?
15.
All right, so it's 15, but a master's like 10 usually. But I'm not saying it's good.
The last one was 15 too. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's okay. Booster
should be priced the same. I don't care.
I agree with you wholeheartedly.
So they decided, okay, we're going to make a new kind of booster, and we're going to try to make it exciting for people who just want to crack packs, which I like to draft. I like sealed. I love to crack packs too.
I prefer cracking packs. I got to be honest.
So they came out with the set booster.
Right.
And first glimpse, I like it.
Okay.
I like it a lot. So what they're doing is like in the article, he broke it down. The first slot you're going to get with the set booster is an art card. You're going to get a full art card.
Which is what they did with the Modern Masters and Ultimate
they did
Masters.
with Modern Horizons. They did just it's a full size Magic card, but it's all art. And some of these are going to be gold stamped with the artist's signature. So
that could be a problem. With some of the people they haven't gotten rid of yet.
I don't know. But we'll have to see what's going on with that. It's starting in Zendikar, so it might be in that. But whoops. Anyway, so yeah, you're gonna get those. I kind of like that idea. I didn't get a chance to collect any Modern Horizons, but I kind of like this idea.
Okay.
So I was like, all right, cool. And then the second slot's gonna be a land slot. So it's gonna be full art basics. And then 15% of the time, that land's going to be a foil, which means you're going to get the Noah Bradley lands there, whether you like it or not. But if you get that land as a foil, you can still get an additional foil in the pack later on. So it doesn't take the place of the regular foil slot. So it's like,
which
okay, you can get multiple foils in the pack. I like that. You know me, I love foils.
Yeah, because you like your cards to bend. But anyway, moving on.
Yeah, well, I put them in sleeves immediately, but they still bend a little bit. The next 6 slots are going to be commons and uncommons. But these ones are going to be a little different. They're going to be grouped in a way so that each card of the same rarity has something to do with the card next to it. So it could be a similar creature type, or the cards play well together, or things of that. They're going to fit as part of a puzzle.
So then my question is, why the hell isn't this the draft?
Because drafting, it's the randomization, because you're only picking one card.
I get it.
So having the other cards be related to each other, you're not going to see any of these cards come back.
Sealed would be good though.
Sealed would be great. So maybe they start doing sealed with set boosters. That's a possibility.
Go on.
The other thing that they're going to be doing is those 6 cards. It could be 5 commons and a common. It could be 6 uncommons. It's going to be, there's going to be a percentage as to what mixture of those 6 cards are going to be common and uncommon. So that, that's cool. If you're trying to build a set, you get a whole fistful of uncommons instead of a bunch of commons you already have. The next set, and by the way, before I go any further, these booster packs are only 12 cards instead of 15.
Yeah.
So that part so you're getting a couple fewer cards, but it looks like you have an overall chance of getting more quote unquote value for your buck. The next one they're calling a head turner slot. So this one's always going to be a visually interesting card, according to Morrow. It could vary from set to set. And they said for Zendikar Rising, you're going to get either a common or an uncommon that's either a showcase card or a card that has a cool element that they haven't talked about yet. So there's going to be something special with this card. Obviously, because they can't talk about it until the Zendikar previews come out. But there's something going to be there that's going to be special, and you're going to go, ooh, ah.
It's a fetch land that doesn't fetch.
Yeah. The next one is going to be a wild card rarity slot. So
Interesting
there's going to be
notion on that one.
Yeah, it's 2 slots. So there's going to be 2 cards. It can either be 2 commons, a common and an uncommon, a common and a rare, an uncommon and an uncommon and a rare, or 2 rares.
Right.
And they still haven't gotten to the regular rare slot in the pack. So there is a possibility that you could open 3 or more rares in this pack. The next slot after that, which is the 12th slot, is the rare mythic slot. So there's your guaranteed rare. They are increasing the drop rate of mythics.
Right.
It's slight. It's very slight. It goes from 1.8 for one out of every 8 boosters to now 1 out of every 7.4. So it's going to be, basically maybe an extra mythic per pack,
right,
or per box, which is still fine. And then there's the foil slot. So there's a guaranteed foil in every pack already. So you can get 2 foils if you get the foil land plus the foil slot.
Right.
And that foil could be any rarity. So you could also get a foil rare there. So that's opening 5 rares in a pack, possibly.
Possibly.
And then there's your token / ad slot. Take away the ad cards.
Yeah, I know.
Why you're opening a pack of Magic? Why have an ad about Magic in a pack about Magic? To play Magic? Because it's Magic. We already know it's Magic. Oh my God, my brain. So one of the things that they are doing, though, instead of the ad and token card, so I got my wish.
Right.
25% of the time, it's going to be a card from something they're calling the list.
It's the reserve list.
Not really. It's 300 cards from Magic's past.
Right.
It's not going to be reserve list cards because they can't reprint reserve list, but it could be anything. So he gave a couple of examples. He posted 3 examples on the article.
Yeah, Muscle Sliver, Pact of Negation. Jesus.
I mean, come on. There's going to be some crazy stuff. If Pact of Negation is like, they'll say, oh, by the way, this is in there. There could be some crazy things in there. They've already confirmed that it's not fetch lands.
Right.
So get that out of there now. It's looking more and more like Commander Legends is going to be the product that we see fetch lands in.
Yeah, it's going to have to be.
That's what I'm thinking. He did say that the dual lands, or at least that's a prediction that some people have had, that the dual lands in this set are going to be pushed.
So they're bringing back duels, which is probably going to be, you got to figure, Pain? Or
couldn't be Pain lands because those are all tied to Dominaria.
They did check lands, I think, the last time we went to Zendikar.
No, I think people are thinking that these are going to be powerful.
Like
so I'm
new
thinking,
type?
Like a new type of shock land, or some kind of a land that's probably not fetchable, but probably has a way to come in untapped. At least, at the very, very least.
Well, they need that because right now when rotation happens, we have nothing coming in untapped with duel. Everything comes in tapped. So it's obvious that it has to come in with that. That's why I was thinking like a check land. I could see them bringing the check lands back out.
And the other thing with this is that he did say that these 12 card boosters are going to cost more than a regular booster pack.
Of course they are.
But only about $1, which, okay.
Yeah,
I could deal with. Especially with all the potential for rares and mythics and foils that you're throwing. It's like collector booster light, but it's actually reasonably priced.
I don't suppose we could make a deal with Kerwin to get at least our giveaway box to be that.
I mean, that would be pretty cool.
That might be next year's sponsorship meeting. We gotta be like, hey.
But yeah, I mean, it's like if I'm going to be getting a box of Zendikar Rising, I'm probably going to be buying boxes of set boosters.
I think I would buy a box of set booster. I mean, you and I, I have one that's, we have one. I'm probably going to buy at least one box of set. I will too, because again, I like the idea of less common and uncommon, to be quite honest with you, and that's what it's talking about. I mean, because what they're talking about is part of their problem that they feel is like they're like, you go through, and what he's saying without saying is he's like, you go to a store, you crack a bunch of boxes, then you start throwing the commons and uncommons to other people, like here, and leaving them on the table because you don't care.
Yeah, most people, when you open a booster pack of a set that you've opened any amount of boosters for, what do? You like rip away the commons. Are there any decent uncommons here? Whatever. Well, what's the rare? Do I get a foil?
Our openings that we did, when this set came out, like
2-3 packs in,
you were like common. Finally, I text him like, dude, just go to the uncommons and the rares. What are you doing to us here?
I was planning on doing that anyway.
I know.
Yeah, because I figured, if we have newer players that don't know what the cards do, because maybe they haven't opened any core set packs yet, or seen any spoilers. They may not know what these cards do. So I figured, let me show them some commons, you know, because it's part of our audience. And then once we got past that point, I'm like, all right, let's get past this. Here's the rares. So.
I don't disagree with you, but the problem I have, and maybe this is where we should get into combat, is that it's another product.
It's 4.
Oh, we have regular draft boosters, collector boosters, theme boosters.
Those are going away.
No, are they?
Yeah, they're having welcome boosters instead.
Okay, so welcome boosters, and now set boosters.
Yep. So set boosters, draft boosters, collector boosters, and welcome boosters. 4 different booster packs per set.
It's too much. So you know what, and that's really what our combat's going to be. So let's get into that because we actually have one tonight.
Combat phase.
Okay, so let's get into it. Aramis, you proposed this combat, so I'll let you lead us off.
I am going to take the shocking position and say no.
Oh, well, let me put it up there. That the question before us all is, are there too many booster products for each set? Why or why not?
I'm gonna say no, but it's a very, very tentative no. I could be very easily convinced the other way on this one. I'm gonna say that there's not too many, only because what they're doing is specifically targeting different markets of their player base and saying, if you're looking for this, this is yours. If you're looking for this, this is yours. If you're looking for this, this is yours. Now, as a traditionalist, just give me the damn booster pack.
Right.
I don't care what's in it. I want the shiny, tasty cards, although they say not to eat the cards, but
Yeah, we know what you...
With enough spices and sauce, you know, the marinade
Right.
could be decent.
Right.
It's got to be better than cafeteria food in most
Absolutely.
colleges, right? Anyway, I like collector boosters. I much prefer set boosters because you can still get a decent amount, you know, a couple of foils per pack. You're guaranteed a foil per pack, potentially more rares. I like this idea. This is what collector boosters should have been,
Right.
in my opinion. And if they were going to do collector boosters, there's no reason that they should cost $30 when they've already shown now by doing
That they can
set
cost
boosters,
$100.
They,
Sorry.
yeah. No, well, quick aside, we never even mentioned that. If you guys hadn't heard, with Double Masters, they have a VIP booster, which I think is what, 25, 30 cards, something like that. 12 of which are basic lands. $100 a pack, and that's not even like they don't have MSRP. So good luck getting one for $100. You get a bunch of rares and foils and all this other nonsense. $100 a pack? Are you kidding me?
$100 a pack.
What happens if you're 2 rares or a couple of those 50-cent rares that have been reprinted?
Yeah.
You know what do you? No, that's way too much. Like I was barely tolerating collector boosters. This is absurd.
I'm going with Zach on this, and I'm going to use it. We're going to talk about both of these here because, I mean, we should talk about Double Masters and Zendikar Rising. I think there are too many, and I'm not just a traditionalist. I know I'm 46 years old. I know I'm like 2 years away from eating peanut brittle and chasing kids off my lawn. I get this. Yeah, I really do. I love peanut brittle. But, actually, I hate that shit. But the point is that it's obvious with Double Masters that Wizards has gone flat out fucking loco, pardon my French, but it's ridiculous at this point. $100. So let me get this straight. I could buy 1 pack of Double Masters, which, by the way, I am not guaranteed to even get $50 in cards back.
No,
card
there
value.
There are some jank.
There is
rares.
some junk in this set. All right, there is absolute junk in this set. So I'm putting $100 into a collector booster, or I could take my other $100 and go buy a box of Zendikar Rising or even Core 21, and come out. I mean, you opened a box the other day which had $300 or $400 worth of stuff in it.
Yeah, I made out very well.
I mean, and that's not normal. You usually can get around.
That was a great
you
box.
usually can get some of your money back.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go on a limb here and say they're getting too damn granular with the focus. I understand that they think that there's this market out there there's the market for the whales, and there's a market for the regulars, and then there's the midline people, and then there's the poor people. Okay, let's be honest, Magic is way too expensive for most of the
Quick
people
aside.
that are struggling. So
Quick
yeah.
aside for you. Sorry to interrupt your train of thought, but
No,
I pulled
it's
up
okay.
the article. VIP edition boosters contain 33 cards and 2 foil tokens. Okay.
Right.
10 full art basic lands. So there's 23 actual cards
Right.
plus 2 foil tokens. 2 full art basic lands. So there you go. That's
21.
Down 21. 9 foil commons. 8 foil uncommons.
That's
2 foil
16,
rares and
which
mythics.
means 5 left.
Yeah, 2 foil rares and mythics. And then 2 foil borderless cards only found in VIP, and the cards with the rare symbol will appear twice as often as cards with a mythic symbol.
The fact
So
is,
you're getting 4 rares. Good luck.
It's
horse
shit.
crap.
It's
absolute
horseshit.
horse crap.
You
Yeah,
can say
terrible.
it, Aramis. We can say it. We're already getting the explicit tag. It's horse shit. Okay.
You can say it. You can say it. That's all
it
you
is 100% absolute horseshit. And
$100 pass.
please, I can't say this enough. Okay, I have never said this before. Don't buy it.
Do not
Let
buy this.
them sit on the shelves. And I understand that's hard. I understand that there are going to be cards in there that are,
It could be a foil showcase mana crypt. It absolutely could.
I get it. I understand.
But it could be a foil
it.
showcase crop rotation. That's not going to be worth anywhere near as much.
If you buy this product, it says to Wizards, this is where we want to go, and we don't want to go here. I get it. It's the master set. It's for modern. We don't really play a lot of modern. You and I get it.
Stuff for Commander.
But the fact is, if this pulls off, they'll do it in standard. It'll come, and
It's already coming.
yeah, the collector boosters. And I think we have too many products. I think this set booster should take the place of collector boosters. I think collector boosters should go away. I do agree with what somebody said earlier. They're like, collector boosters are an abomination. They jack the secondary market, and that's true.
But Wizards doesn't acknowledge the secondary market.
Wizards absolutely acknowledges the secondary market. That's why they're in the secret lair business. Don't tell me that. I understand what Wizards says, and I'd love for Wizards to become a friend of ours and stuff. But I'm not gonna.
The biggest thing that shoots a giant battleship-sized hole in their theory about the secondary market and how it doesn't exist or whatever is that they always say, well, if we reprint these cards, it'll wreck the value of the older cards. Look at Birds of Paradise. The beta version of Birds of Paradise is a couple $1,000s. The Guilds of Ravnica version is like $5.
And
It's
again,
the same card.
Since you're not counting the secondary market, what do you care?
Yeah, but it's the same. It's the exact same card. So they printed it in Secret Lair as part of their birds thing.
Right.
And it's like, all right, what? There's no secondary market. They'll be fine. People are still going to pay premium amounts of money for a black bordered beta Tundra because it's a black bordered beta Tundra.
And that's
if you reprint the thing in Core Set 2022, yeah, people are going to gobble that up, but it ain't going to affect the Tundra out of beta.
So that they can play it. Yeah, it becomes a playable card. That's
Let
what
people
needs
play
to
the cards.
happen. Look, there are too many products. I'm sorry. They need to get rid of at least one.
I'd rather they spent more money. I'd rather they spent their money. Listen to this.
Yeah.
I'd rather they spent their money settling potential lawsuits with the financial aspect of the game to kill the reserve list than come out with $100 booster packs.
How about this? All right. So the combat is about too many booster products. I got a hot take right here for you. Have the set booster replace draft. Done.
Well,
have it replace it. Why do we? I understand for draft. Make a separate product for draft that is maybe keep draft, but stop letting it be the primary way for you to get your cards.
Well, if it was just the draft booster and the set booster, I'd be cool with that.
Right.
I'd be okay with that because then you'd be like, if I'm not going to draft, I'll buy this booster instead.
Right.
Costs an extra $1, but hey, I'm going to get like 5 rares.
Right. And I think that's smart, or
This
call
is
the
smart.
set booster the collector booster, and it's for collectors. All right, we're putting more rares in it. This is for you collectors. This whole collector booster VIP crap is okay. The cards are shit. Okay, they come in and they fold in a day or two after opening. Okay,
Well, especially the Secret Lair ones.
Right.
The collector boosters haven't been as bad, but
I mean, I bought a collector booster the other day, and I got a foil. Look at him. He's pretty. Okay, He's pretty. You know, it's
yeah.
I got a
one of them too,
Basri.
yeah.
He's very pretty. And yeah, okay, if I have an extra $25, I'll buy a collector booster if I see it at a Walmart or something, sure. But no, I don't need to. I would rather get a set booster. If I know that the set booster is going to have 2 rares in it, 2 mythic, or a rare and a mythic, all right, now you've got my money.
The good thing, I think, is that luckily you're able to get the regular versions of the cards in regular booster packs. You know, collector boosters are basically saying, look, these are the same cards. They're shiny and pretty. They have special frames.
I've argued against these though since you and I had a combat on this. I've argued against the existence of these for a while.
Having alternate art, alternate frame, there's nothing wrong with having alternate art, alternate frame versions of cards as long as the regular versions of the card are accessible to people, because you're still playing the same bits of cardboard. They do the same thing.
Exactly.
I would be if we get to the point where there are cards that you can literally only get from these products, that's when we know they've gone too far. And I really hope they don't get to that point. But I can get behind you saying kill the collector booster altogether. Mm-hmm. Make the set booster the collector booster, even if they ramp up the foil ratio a smidge or the rare ratio a smidge and tack an extra 50 cents or $1 on top of that, then you're paying $6 a booster.
Right.
That's fine.
I mean, here's the thing.
I'm okay with that.
We all know the collector booster is their attempt at retailing the big stupid mail-ons they had, the prestige format or whatever the hell they called it before, during core. It was during Core 19 and then War of the Spark, I think, had it too. It was like where you could get like a Teferi with a board. You got automatic like 6 planeswalkers and what the hell was the name of that set? But it was like $400, and then they never sent it out right. It was the mail-in. The first time they tried to play around with the mail-in, and then they went through
Secret Lair.
Yeah, then they went through eBay and all of that. I can't remember the name of the product.
Oh, the Ultimate Edition.
The Ultimate Editions, Premier Editions. Yeah.
God,
that's what the collector boosters are. Okay,
yeah.
I get that.
A bite-sized version of it. Yeah.
That's what it is. It's meant to be. Yeah, it's meant to be like, hey, instead of charging you $400, you know, we're gonna have you pay $25-$30 a piece, and it becomes a lot more random, because the $400, the reason they said that was like, well, you know what you're getting. I'm like, okay,
who cares?
Yeah. I don't think it needs to happen. There's too much product. They need to go back, especially in this economy, especially with what's going on.
Yeah, announcing VIP edition in the middle of a pandemic when the United States has unemployment that hasn't been that bad in 100 years.
And here's the problem. All right, we're not done yet.
Oh, no,
all right,
we're not.
It's gonna get worse before it gets better, and people are, you know, yeah. Don't get me wrong. I still think I should be allowed to have a beer and chicken wings in a bar, but that's a New York joke, guys. Look it up. It's hysterical. But, you know, here's what happened. My wife right now is feeling a little sick and under the weather. We went to a bar the other day on our vacation. She had a beer and French fries and maybe a couple chicken wings. I had beer and a sandwich. That's why I don't have it. If you only have beer and chicken wings, that's how you get COVID. Anyway, moving on. But so I don't know who won this combat, but I mean, I'll
give it to you. I'll give it to you.
I think I have it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll give it to you because I think that I think they should trim the number. First of all, they should trim the number of products they release during the year.
Period.
I think we can agree on that. Period. There's too many sets to keep track of.
I think with the pandemic, they could easily go, hey, next year, all right, next year we're gonna have 2 sets. All right, we're gonna do Zendikar Rising. And then we're going to have one more, like, in 5 months. And then we're going to have a core set. And then we're going to rotate. And be or like...
Just stick to the standard editions. Yeah. You know, not 15 supplemental sets and 25 secret layers.
Listen, you can't... Well, if we're not doing paper events, I can get behind that. They have to feed the paper market if they're doing paper modern events. You have to feed the market. You know, sure. You can't. It gets boring if every set is Bogles, and if you're playing, you know, mono red, whatever, and modern.
So if you're playing standard.
Yeah. So let's go into though, because we're getting low on time here, and we're gonna go ahead and get into main 2. So.
Main phase.
Let's talk about Jumpstart here. We like to talk about Arena main 2, and Jumpstart launched a week and a half ago.
Yes.
What do you think?
I love it.
You would.
I love it.
What happened to your light?
I think it's fantastic. Nothing happened to my light. I changed my monitor setting, so it's not a white monitor. Now I'm looking at you.
Oh, okay.
It's much worse. Trust me.
Yeah, I'm pretty.
Pretty something.
Go on.
It's awesome. I love Jumpstart. I think it's a fantastic product. I think they hit a freaking home run with this one. Obviously, they copied another game to do it, but that's fine. Imitation is the most sincere form of flattery.
Okay, well, how do you think Arena is in implementation of Jumpstart?
I wish it was card for card. I do wish it was card for card. I can understand their crazy fear about historic power levels and everything, but hey, look, guess what one of the best decks in historic is now? Team of Reclamation. Woo!
Right.
Anyway.
Which is why we're not going to probably do historic. We're going to do, I'm more thinking about it. I think the winner box is going to be for Artisan.
Pauper.
Artisan.
Yeah.
Give them uncommons. Let them have uncommons. Okay.
But anyway, it's fantastic in that it's a little different than buying Jumpstart in paper because and when you're buying it in paper, it's completely random. You really don't know what you're opening until you actually open it. Whereas with here, you have a choice of 3 packs and then a choice of another 3 packs, and then that's your deck.
I have a hot take, and I put it in the Discord when it came out. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I haven't won. Maybe it's because I don't do enough research, but I'm coming in as a total noob. All right, I'm taking 2 decks, and I hate it. It's because I haven't. Yeah, like I said, I haven't been able to win. I haven't been able to. I think I've played like 7 or 8 different decks that I have to keep putting in gems for, or gems or coins for, and I'm like, this is. I could go back and play Constructed, and I understand that Sealed, that's kind of what you get, but there's still a skill set involved, and maybe because you do a lot of, Sealed and Limited.
To be fair, I mean, there's several variations of each theme. So there's 4 different variations of the Goblins pack. There's 4 different variations of the, or however many variations of the Unicorn pack. The Unicorn one, by the way, that enchantment is ridiculously stupid.
I know.
But anyway, there is certain combinations that work better with other combinations. That people are going to figure that out. Although,
but they're not supposed to. Like, it's not supposed to be figured out. It's supposed to be.
But people do because it's natural synergies. You're like, oh well, this is this, and I know what kind of cards are in here. It does really well with this one that I just happened to get. It is a lot more random in that respect though, because you're not guaranteed to get the 2 packs that have the great synergy together.
Right.
It does basically ask you to have, to be able to play a limited environment very well. And you've said it yourself. That's one of your bigger weaknesses is limited.
Right.
Not being able to add stuff to a deck to change it. But I like the fact that they have the flat fee to enter, and you can play until you win your 2 games. I don't like that you have to re-enter to change your deck.
Yeah.
I don't like that the prizes are only, not necessarily that the prizes are only rares from Jumpstart, but that there's no duplicate protection for the cards that were printed in other sets.
Right.
So if you have 4 Woe Striders already and you open the Jumpstart version of Woe Strider, it doesn't give you gems.
Right.
And if you open 5 versions of the Jumpstart Woe Strider, you still don't get gems, which I think is a very big problem they need to fix. But the game as a whole, the gameplay,
I get it.
Is very, very good. I like this for beginners. I like this for established players. I think this is something that going over what you do, and the professor suggested this as well. You buy a box of Jumpstart.
Yeah.
You get some way to reseal the packs, and you just randomly pick 2 and just keep doing it. It's just
this would be really good for this would be good for my guys. This would be good for my
this would be perfect for your guys. This is great. And plus, you might open an Oracle of Moldiah or a Crater Hoof Behemoth. There's like $50, $60, $70 cards in this.
So I may do something like that with them once we get back on center. I may I may go to Steve and be like, I need to buy a box, and tell him what it's for.
And here's the thing, once it's an unlimited print run, so there have been some distribution issues and some pricing issues right now. They're going to keep printing this for the foreseeable future. This is not going to go away. So a booster box of it should cost you about $125, which is very reasonable.
Yeah.
And the amount of replayability you're going to get out of this is one of the best Magic products they've ever come out with. I'm going to say this right now.
I can get behind that.
It's awesome. And I'll say this too. I have opened packs and played and gotten crushed multiple times. I'm like, well, this sucks. But I grounded out, got my 2 wins, and immediately changed.
Okay.
That's just how it is sometimes.
Well, there you go. And there's that. So Jumpstart's fun. Highly recommend it. Let's talk a little bit. I want to give you guys an update. Let me pull up my PDF here. We have managed to fire off the Win-A-Box event. So the last week and a half, we've been having guys play. I shouldn't say guys because we do have some females. So I mean that in the not
the non-gender specific way.
yes,
Guys.
yeah, just like So where we're standing right now is we're down to our 16. So and we've got 3 games left. So 16 minus 3, carry the 1, 13 games. So yeah, quite a few games have been played. There were 8 games. Yeah, so it's 8 games. So we've got 3 left to go. So 5 have been played. So right now, as it stands, going into round 3, Mike Sanchez, Mark, who's one of our patrons, he did get his bye, Margraves, Tretjan, Keith have all gone on.
Nice.
Steve and Anthony both going down after their bye. I'm gonna bust their stones on that on Wednesday. Yeah.
So it just goes to show you the bye doesn't get you anything.
The bye doesn't get you much, but it gets you the second round. But we've still got Walt, Mike, Alice, and Matt, and George and Ted to play. So once they play, we'll go on to, and we'll be down to our Elite 8, and then we're going to the Final 4, and then the finals. So
copyright strike right there.
I know. I'm excited though. I mean, this is really firing. I'm really glad we did it this way. The guys, the Discord they're talking about. By the way, our Discord, and I need to change our wallpaper for this. If you want to join our Discord, I've made it very easy. Discord.planestalkerspodcast.com. So I have added that. I managed to get that to work. So
Nice.
The people are in there, and it's becoming a really robust community. I'm very excited for that. But yeah, we're doing pretty well here. So I think we're a good week and a half, maybe. Maybe by next Monday we'll have an idea of who at least the finals are.
Okay.
But I'm hoping that with that we're going to get some excitement there. But I'm really, really enjoying this. We're going to do it again. I'm not calling for it yet. So if you're listening to the show and you didn't get in, there were a few people that tried to get in after we closed it. Not yet. Okay, we're gonna wait till this event is over. I want to get with our patrons. I want to get with Aramis. I want to find out how we want to give away the Zendikar Rising box. I think we're going to do another play event, and I think it's going to be probably, if I have a say, I like the idea of either standard artisan or historic artisan.
That'll be something we'll have to hammer out.
Yeah. What would you think?
I would probably say standard, only because it might be a little harder to get a hold of some of the historic cards.
You're probably right. So
we'll
is going to be like standard artisan, which is basically commons and uncommons. So
yeah, but we'll see.
So no shocklands.
Yeah.
Or do we let them have shocklands? Do we let you have rare lands?
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that.
That'd be interesting. So no, because then I have to get involved in like really deck looking, and I don't want to do that. All right, so like I said, congratulations to Mike Sanchez, Mark, Jason Margraves, Tretjan, Keith. Congratulations, you guys are going on to round 3. Walt, Mike, Alice, Matt, and George and Ted, for crying out loud, play your damn games. So,
do it.
Yeah, so we've got that. Let me pull up the email real quick. I don't know that we have any emails going on. But I do know that this Wednesday we're going to be doing command. Is this week just a regular Commander week, right?
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, I made some changes to my deck. I'm looking forward to see how they play out.
And I'm just checking. And no, we don't have any emails. So we'll just go right on to, but that's going to be pretty much it, man. We did manage to get in right around an hour. I feel pretty good about this because we were running late for a while there, bro. we just flew through main 2. So let's go ahead and get into end step. All right, so as we're picking up our cards and putting them in the boxes, putting our play mats and rolling them up and getting everything ready, Aramis and I am moving the pizza boxes to the trash because, damn it, your mother still does not work here. Both Aramis and I want to remind you, we do stream Arena on the Planestalkers Podcast channel on Twitch. Look up Planestalkers Podcast there. We also stream the show live there now. You can follow me on Twitch at MindCrime73.
And if you want to follow me on Twitch, honestly, most of the streaming that I do is going to be going through the Planestalkers Podcast channel now. But if I do ever stream by myself, it's going to be Armec WRX. So look me up there on Twitch. If Twitter is more your speed to follow the show and you want to keep up with us that way, you can find our show at PlanestalkerPod on Twitter.
And my personal Twitter is at WR Benson, but let's be honest, guys, I don't tweet that often. I'm really only there to follow the comings and goings of my favorite boy band, the New Kids on the Block. And I just got a thing for Donnie, man. I just want to see what Donnie's up to. And Jordan's just a poser. But I don't know why I know 2 of those names. I don't think I could pull any. Oh God, I could. Jordan, Donnie.
No, stop
Yeah.
it, stop it. That if you
There's
say them
like
all at once, they get summoned from the underworld.
Joey.
God damn it.
There's like his brother Jonathan and.
Jeez.
Oh gosh, I can't remember the 5th one. All right, phew, I'm good. I get to keep my man card. All right, so, but just go there, and of course you can always follow us on Facebook. We're on there. It's facebook.com/planestalker. Like and follow our page there. And again, we have our Discord server now. If Discord is your speed, you want to interact with us in real time, you can find us at discord.com or discord.planestalkerspodcast.com, and that'll bring you right in there.
Sweet. That'll be really good to see. We hope to see you there. And finally, if you want to send us an email to either check in with the show, tell us how we're doing, or if you have an idea for something we could talk about on the show, or even if you want to ask for advice, we have an Ask Aramis section where I can offer you tips on anything from deck construction to limited choices. If you want to send us an email, our address is podcast@planestalkerspodcast.com.
And Steve, you better not forget about Commander Cast on Wednesday, you latecomer.
No tardiness this time.
Yes, and by the way, if you're wondering who we're referring to with Steve and all that, if you check out our show live on Twitch or Facebook, our chat room is wide open and it just shows up on the screen. So if you've always wanted to see your name in print, I should get that bump from the jerk. If you've always wanted to see your name in print, show up for that. I want to remind you guys, I do host another podcast on the television show DC's Legends of Tomorrow. It's on an infinite hiatus at this point because so is Legends of Tomorrow. However, it is called
Infinite Hiatus.
It's called Legends TV Talk. But what's really exciting is that I have been streaming and playing Minecraft with them on what's called a Flashcraft server. We're building DC Universe stuff in Minecraft. So actually what I'm building is I'm building the Xavier Mansion. I'm like, yeah, I'm supposed to build DC. Screw you. I'm building the X-Men's base.
Where's that button that has Homer Simpson? that does a thing. Oh, there it is. There it is.
All right, so I want to remind you guys of that, but you can check us out at Legends TV Talk on Facebook, or just look up Flashcraft on Twitch, and I do stream it there. I don't stream it here. I do stream just to Minecraft 73 because I'm like, it's a little rude. But I guess that's a show for us tonight. What do you, anything else you want to say, Aramis?
Nope. Looking forward to Wednesday night. I really can't wait to see how
it's going to be good.
Play out.
All right, so with that, I want to say thank you very much for hanging out with us tonight. We've really enjoyed having you all here. It's good to be back. Taking a week off is hard, but I'm glad we did it. We will be back Wednesday night. Tune in here, same around 8 o'clock, 7:30 actually, for Commander Craft. So it's going to be Aramis, probably Steve and Anthony, who are Colin and Ryan of this show. And they'll be playing with us, and maybe, who knows, we have a few open seats. If you want to play and you have an EDH paper deck, feel free to get a hold of us on the Discord or send us an email and I'll get you in. So for Aramis Perez, this is Will Benson saying thank you guys for listening and watching tonight, hanging out with us, and for downloading this podcast. We do appreciate you. We'll talk to you next week. Thanks again, and we want to remind you to save some of your mana and keep it untapped because you never know when you'll need it. Take care. Bye-bye. And I'm stopped. Yay.
Do that. Don't forget that if it lands untapped.
Shut the hell up. It's a double IPA, motherfucker. Oh, God. I want to sound like Morgan Freeman when I swear. Shoot this motherfucker.
That sounded more like an Irish dude.
Shut up. Your mother smells. Oh, wait. Shit.
Well, she would. She's been burned to ashes.
Wow, that just got dark.
It did.
It did. You made it dark, man. What's up with you?
You started it.
I did. What is this?
68.
Episode 68.
The next one's the nice episode.
Listen, 69 is great, but I like 77 because, you get 8 more.
Way to pick the ball and run with it.
All right, so
I can't wait for Wednesday. I've been itching to play some Commander.
I'm looking forward to it too. I hope I don't know what to play though. I mean, I don't think I'm going to play Atrax again. I don't think I'm going to play Gear either. I got to find a better deck.
I got one flavor ice cream, and that's madness.
Yeah, you got to get a new deck, man.
I got to get.
You know what? You and Steve got to do that event. You and Steve got to do that whole thing where it's.
He's going to have a real hard time helping me out because I ain't got nothing past Amonkhet, and I need signets at the very least.
Well, you've got. Wait, you don't have signets?
I don't have any signets. Those are all Ravnica back and old Commander.
Oh.
They didn't have the signets in Commander 19.
Uh,
They did in Commander 20, but not all of them.
well, I still think I think it would be a fun way for him to help you, like just to give you a deck that's playable. So
What do you mean playable?
your deck's playable, but it's annoying, and I don't like it. So stop playing it.
You just don't like it. I'm gonna keep playing more if that's the case. I would like to
Come
work on
through.
the,
I have so many extra staples. He's saying he really wants us to come down to New York. We're gonna have to make a trip there once. I don't know. Do we go like in the next like month or so before the second wave hits, or?
I think it's after the second wave.
Yeah,
After the
it's gonna be
second
a
wave.
while.
I want to make the trip. I do, but it's gonna have
Unless
to
we hung out in like Poughkeepsie, unless we made him meet us like halfway. Like you guys meet us in Poughkeepsie. We'll do Poughkeepsie because I think that's like an hour and a half each way for both of us.
something like that.
It's longer. It's longer for me, but
yeah, it's way longer for you.
yeah. Well, let's find out how my COVID tests for my wife come back before I start making any plans. Yeah, Dominus Ominous Domesticus. Yeah, so. All right, so we've got Commander Craft, and dude, yeah, Steve, by the way, way to win your event, dude. Way to show up, man. What's up with that, man? You're playing like, I'm down 26 pounds. You're also down a loss because of in the Winter box. Oh, he had a hard matchup.
Yeah, he got a buy, and then he put the other buy right behind it. So
way to waste the buy, man.
Bye.
Oh, he's gonna come in loaded for me on Wednesday.
Yeah, you're
now. I'm dead, man. Dead,
See,
man.
I'm like piggybacking off of you, so it's nowhere near as bad for me. So yeah, you're toast.
It was fun playing for a while.
It was nice while it lasted.
Yeah, I definitely am like I'm loving just what's happening. Like that whole thing, everybody's having a good time and nobody's being a douche, and
Nope. Nope, it's all good. I love it.
So I kind of wish we could play. I mean, we couldn't win though.
Oh, in the Winterbox thing? Yeah, no.
Because they're having all the fun.
That's fine. I am enjoying it vicariously through them, and they win a box, and they enjoy it and support our show. That's all that matters.
Oh,
He
played
pander.
He played Narset against his deck, and yeah, he did. He had a heavy draw deck.
Yeah, Narset. Yeah, Narset's a card. And I'm assuming blue Narset, not Jeskai Narset.
We're all gonna be happy to see Narset go away soon.
I'll kind of miss her.
Shut up.
She's still in standard. It's just not the Narset that everybody loves.
Yeah, that Narset will be in historic and modern for some time.
Oh yeah, well it's in vintage.
Yeah,
They had to restrict it in vintage. That tells you something about how strong that card is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so my stuff's uploaded.
Mine should be done.
And I think this is what I talked about it in my in the ride home with Will this week. I talked about like what you would need to do if you wanted to build a podcast. And one of the things I talked about was like there are nights where I know I don't need to edit, and there are nights where I know we freaking need to edit. Yeah. This is definitely one of those not edit nights. I mean, I stumbled over my words a little bit, but I'm okay.
No, we had good. It was good flow back and forth. Good cadence. We both had good points.
I should be able to just get this up tonight as opposed to editing it down. And the thing that's really screwing with me is the levels lately. Like, again, you still have some serious back noise, but I've managed to lock in Logic Pro to kind of get rid of some of it. And so far, I haven't noticed like where
and that's the weird
we're
thing.
losing mute.
Nothing else going on.
I know. Well, I think there's a
open.
fan. You got to have a fan or something in there, don't you?
No, the only fan that's on is a fan on my computer.
It's possible that's that, but I mean that's why mine's underneath my table, and then I've got shit on top of it. Yeah,
mine's underneath the desk, so it's I don't know.
Well, I'm gonna go
on
to
to
my
like
Mac.
electrical interference from other stuff, but
yeah, I doubt it. All right, well, that's the show. We're gonna shut off, guys. Oh, one of you guys should play the winner for bragging rights.
Final boss. If you lose, you don't get the box.
Yeah, Steve, we'll see you Wednesday, and what we're gonna do is, and patrons, be looking for the patrons channel on Discord. I gotta make sure you're all in it. I do want to talk about Zendikar Rising and what we want to do as far as format goes for a winner box. Again, we are not calling for submissions now. Do not email me saying you want to join. It's not ready yet. But, if you're a patron and you're a Planeswalker level, then I'd like to know what you guys think. So
yeah, we're just brainstorming at this point.
Right. My thinking is standard artisan. So it's commons and uncommons only. I haven't decided if I want to let you guys use the rare lands. I don't think so. I think I'll make you use But that means the cycling lands are in play. Oh, that's all we're gonna have is cycle decks.
There's no cycling lands.
The tri-land. Oh, the tri-lands are.
Those are rares.
Rare.
Those are rares.
Yeah, so we definitely can't have cycling. Cycling will still be.
Cycling never played the Triumphs.
I played the Triumphs in cycling.
Just the one though. I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Jeskai, because I did Jeskai Cyclone.
But it costs the cycling deck likes to play cycling 1, and the Triumphs are cycling 3.
Right. But it's still a cycle land.
The cycling deck will be very strong in Artisan.
Yeah, that's just it. I'm wondering, are we going to end up killing ourselves? Historic Pauper would be fun, but the problem is well, then again, people should have enough common wild cards.
If it's common wild, yeah, like I said, we'll
talk about it. It's gonna be in the
nail it
Discord. It's
down.
gonna be a topic of conversation. Steve, are you in the Discord for the? Let me check that channel. I got to figure out how to get them. I had a way to put people into that. I thought I had it automatically set up to the Patreon channel. Yeah, he's in there. Okay. But it's just you, me, Bell, Mark, Johnny, and Steve. I don't... Oh, Jamobi's in there.
Yeah.
Crimson Wolf is in there. Anthony's in there. Okay, so yeah, I guess they are getting in there automatically. That's good.
Yeah.
But there's still only 8 in there, so... All right, guys. Well, that's going to be the night. So we will talk to you guys later. We're going to shut off the stream now. Thanks for watching and hanging. It's really good to have you guys, and we'll see you Wednesday for Commander Craft. Take care.
Be safe, guys.